This is Cruise Control.
Your on-air automotive magazine with co-hosts Fred Staab and Les Jackson. Everything you need to know about new and used cars. Industry news will fix or repair your car on the air. Fasten your seatbelts and let us take the wheel. Now, your ride is about to begin. Because you're on Cruise Control. Cruise Control. Cruise Control.
Welcome to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Hello, everyone. It's Fred Staab and Les Jackson, and we are glad you are here because we've got a lot to talk about, don't we, Les?
Boy, we sure do. The New York Auto Show media days have just finished, but we've got all the news and a whole lot of other stuff. Let's get going.
Yeah, let's get going, and we're going to start with big reveals, including a big vehicle that sells very well, and that is none other than the 2024 Jeep Wrangler with new trail-finding technology, more interior amenities, expensive, less expensive hybrid models, and even a more capable, if this is possible, Les Jackson, a more capable Rubicon version.
What do they do? Put an anti-gravity device in it or something?
I think it has 65-inch wheels. That's what.
That's it. That's it. And Toyota just showed off the all-new Prius Prime. It's got 100 more horsepower. That's pretty sizable. And a massively increased electric range. It's coming, folks. It's coming.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a pretty amazing setup there, and we're going to talk about that. Plus, talking tech, Ford is using artificial intelligence to help you hitch up your trailer. It can place you right over the hitch ball, right over the receiver, with the push of a button. Pretty cool tech, right?
That's I can't imagine not wanting that as an option.
Why don't they have this on tractor trailers is what I'm wondering.
Well, I'm sure they will eventually.
Yeah.
And we do it every year. Our friends at Consumer Reports, Mike Quincy, is going to join us a little later to run down CR's brand rankings and vehicle top picks. There's always some surprises there for us, too. So it's fun.
Yeah, it's very fun, and as I say, along the way, we're going to have even more reviews from the New York Auto Show. It was kind of one press day this year.
That's right.
You and I are used to the old days where it was 2 full days of reveals, but I have to say the reveals that happened were pretty good.
Well, that's great. You typically go there on your own these days. I don't come up from Washington, but I just, of course, came out of the D.C. Auto Show a month ago. The reveals that are revealed are usually very good. It's just there are fewer of them these days because they're revealing around all during the year at different events.
Yeah, actually, the first 2025 model was revealed, the production version of the Ram BEV 1500. So that is pretty cool, the 2025. So join with us as we go through all these reveals, and stay tuned to Cruise Control. We will be right back. I'm Fred Staab. He is Les.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control. This is your on-air automotive magazine. You know us. I'm Les. That's Fred. And we're going to talk about the New York Auto Show reveals because there are quite a few of them. And a big one was Jeep. Jeep, boy, I see Jeeps everywhere every day.
I think it's a requirement. Everyone has to own one. In their life.
I guess that's true. And they have a new Wrangler with even more 4x4 capability. I don't know how they can deliver more.
Is it new? Can you say it's new? It's kind of, it's updated, right?
It's updated, right. And it's got an available factory Warren winch, And of course, all of the usual. You can't miss it. You always know it's Jeep. Side curtain airbags,
That's
which
amazing. Yeah,
that's rather interesting.
yeah. I mean that they could put them in a Jeep, right?
I just, yeah, where are they going? You know what the side curtains look like. It's like this thick.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, 12.3 inch Uconnect touchscreen radio, which again, where are they putting that?
Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android
Right,
Auto in that.
right, and two new models.
Yeah.
Uh, the Sport S 4XE, lower entry price, which I'm glad to see that because, I've been thinking Jeeps are getting really, really expensive, the
50,
Wranglers these
60.
days.
Yeah. It's all.
More than you think.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
and of course, the Rubicon X,
Yeah.
which I guess walks up walls.
Well, it's got standard 35-inch tires, and it comes with either the 2.0 or 3.6 liter automatic powertrain. Um,
Yep.
Integrated off-road camera, steel bumpers, which I like. That's a nice upgrade for any Jeep to get the steel bumpers. Um, and they're going to be all plug-in hybrid. Every model will be a plug-in hybrid very soon for Jeep. By the end of 2025, the entire North American lineup will be electrified.
And actually, that's a big advantage when you're off road.
It is.
Electric power.
It is, Les.
It's
I mean,
great.
it is, and it's instant torque, and it's great news. They even have more adjustable seats, which I think people are probably pretty happy with. So it's becoming. I guess there's not pushback on this because it is becoming a little bit more car-like inside. I remember a number of years ago when they changed the dash from the flat steel,
Yeah.
plate
Yeah.
to something more car-like, and I thought there was a little pushback then, but I guess people are. I mean, why? You would like to have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, right?
Well, that's right. Plus, all of us, even the Jeep enthusiasts, we're all getting more and more and more spoiled with our everyday transportation. So, yeah, you expect these kind of niceties, even in a Jeep.
Now the
It's
the diesel Jeep is gone, right? The diesel
it's gone.
it is no longer available. They have the 2-liter plug-in hybrid with 375 horsepower. That is really the 4XE. That is really a nice machine. I drove one of them, I guess, almost 2 years ago and was very impressed with it. They have the 2-liter turbocharged i4 engine, 270 horsepower.
Right, right.
Probably the engine most people select is the 3.6-liter V6, 285. And then probably the one that people might want but probably don't get because I think it's kind of a limited model, but it's the 6.4-liter V8, 470 horsepower, 470 pound-feet of torque. That is pretty.
That seems like overkill.
They also have a app in this new Uconnect system that will show you trails. I think it has over 100 trails in it, so it's sort of like nav for the trail. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
That's actually a great idea. It's like having a trail map of hike and bike trails.
I don't think anyone knows how to use paper maps anymore. So
I don't think so either. But
so this is good news from the folks at Jeep, and it's just an outstanding looking vehicle. I mean, it really is. It's so iconic. But to see it like in silver with red leather seats, it's kind of funny in many ways. But I do like the Rubicon. I guess you can still get the regular Rubicon as well. You don't have to get the Rubicon X. But a lot of choices when you go in to buy a Jeep Wrangler. So plan to spend some time and spec it out.
yep.
Yeah. So
And bring your money.
and bring your money. When we come back, we're going to go in a different way with the Prius Prime. So stay tuned to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. That is the show you have dialed into. Fred Staab and Les Jackson. We were talking about the Jeep Wrangler, the 2024 Jeep Wrangler, revealed at the New York Auto Show. But there was quite a different reveal, Les Jackson. This one would not be the best for off-roading, but...
No, but on-roading.
On-roading, it would be pretty darn amazing, and that is the 2023 Prius Prime. And the Prime, if you're not familiar with how Toyota's been doing things over the last couple of years, the Prime is typically their plug-in hybrid version. They have a RAV4 Prime. They now have a Prius Prime. I'm sure there'll be more Primes. They're primed with more Primes. What do you think? That rhymes.
Yes.
Let's talk about this thing. You and I love the shape of it. It is certainly much better looking than the outgoing model, which I thought was a little bizarro. But in the case of the Prius Prime, it's got some big numbers to talk about. First, 52 miles combined miles per gallon. That's
okay.
Good.
Can't argue about that.
That's a pretty good number.
Yep.
The hybrid system, which is, I believe, their Gen 5 hybrid system, 100 horsepower gain over last year's model for improved 0 to 60 time, which typically 100 horsepower will improve your 0 to 60 time.
Typically does.
That's a lot, isn't it?
That's a very sizable horsepower increase. It's rare that we ever mention more than 30 or 40.
Yeah. Since it is a plug-in hybrid, this is great. 76% more all-electric range than the prior generation, meaning you plug this in at night, you can go 44 miles of all-electric. During the week, let's say you're going back and forth to work or doing errands, and then when that charge runs out, it becomes a regular hybrid, and you get 52 miles to the gallon. Not bad, right?
That's actually very, very nice. That's convenient.
That's convenient, and with the smaller battery, you could probably not even put a charger in. You could probably just use your wall plug for that, I would say.
Yeah. That's right.
If you wanted to. And then it has a new 12.3-inch touchscreen and JBL audio system available. I'm really excited to see Toyota upgrade their infotainment system, because for some reason you'd think they'd be the leader in it. They're actually not, I don't think.
No, they've kind of been behind the curve on that.
Yeah.
But now they're there.
But you look at the vehicle, it does look like something out of the future, doesn't it?
It does. The old ones, as you said before, they always looked like they were, French cars. Not that looked bad. It's
Somewhere
just
somebody just said
no,
that's it.
like Renaults and Citroens. They're very,
Or
very
a little
definitive.
festive in styling, a little bit different.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I agree. This last model, I just have a neighbor that has one, and they pulled in and had their foot on the brake. I saw the tail lights, and I was like, what is all that? It's all crazy. But definitely like the new one. Let's talk numbers on it. The SE, which is the base model, comes in at $32,350. The only option, I believe, is front and rear parking assist with automatic braking for $35. I think I'd get that for $35. How about you?
Yeah. Yeah.
The XSE is the next one up at $35,600. Digital key capability, you can add that for $275. Probably add the 12.3-inch Toyota Audio multimedia display for $735, and a fixed glass roof for $1,000. I probably wouldn't get that myself, but. And then the top of the range XSE Premium, $39,170. You get a digital rear view mirror for $200 more, heated rear seats for $350, and a solar charging roof for $610.
Yeah. To be honest, none of those, for me, would be worthwhile. I wouldn't bother with that
Yeah, I mean,
trim level.
it's not going to charge. It will just keep your battery.
Yeah,
Maybe
right. It's
gain a
yeah.
couple of miles of range a day. But, um, you know, I think they've hit it out of the park with this, and it is a great vehicle. And well, coming up, we're going to hear a little bit about Consumer Reports brand rankings and also their vehicle top picks. And Mike Quincy from Consumer Reports is going to join us. And he actually has a car that competes with the Prius Prime in a way, but is a lot less expensive. And that is the Corolla Hybrid. So we'll talk about that. If you want to get near the Prius Prime mileage, but spend a lot less money, that might be one for you. So we're always trying to bring you info that will help you if you're going out and looking at new vehicles and saying, what should I buy? Well, we're going to run them down with Mike.
And by the way, real quick, worldwide, since they started selling Priuses, Toyota has sold 15 million of them.
That's amazing.
It's they're clearly ahead of everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, think of what they've done. I remember when I had the first Prius, and it looked just like a little tiny car, and I was actually buying a new car, and I drove it there to the dealership, and they all ran out and looked at it. I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean it's electric? And I was like, well, it's electric and gas. And they're like, what? You know, how does it work? Guy got on a creeper and looked underneath it. It's like, that's good, though. At least they were interested in it and wanted to learn about it, right?
Absolutely. And that's, right at the same time, you had the Honda Insight, which was a tiny
I like the way
car.
that looked, though, with the wheel
Actually,
pants over it.
I
thought
did
it was
too.
pretty futuristic and pretty cool. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But coming up, Mike Quincy from Consumer Reports, he is going to bring us up to date. He's got a lot of interesting picks here, and I'm going to ask him about a lot of these vehicles that they like and why they like them. I think we like all of them on the list. They even have a Tesla on the list, so we'll talk about that.
Well, there you are.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that and good information if you're looking to buy a new vehicle. Don't forget to check us out at cruisecontrolradio.com. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, check out our YouTube page. There's always great content there. And when we come back, it will be time to once again talk to Mike Quincy about their picks and their brand rankings, and they've got a lot going on, a lot of great information on that, and good ways of looking at it, like that Corolla hybrid. I mean, a lot of people probably wouldn't even think about that. They say, "Oh, I'm going to go for the Prius," but maybe they could save some money and get everything they need. I have a question for you. Have you checked availability of the Ford Maverick?
I have not in quite a while. I've been meaning to do that because I was wondering if it was still,
I have a feeling it's sold out for this year.
I suspect it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll give a quick check. Maybe I'll know something before we come back.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. Also, another big week for Toyota New York Auto Show. Another great vehicle is going to be a big seller for them is the Corolla Cross Hybrid that can get 42 miles to the gallon with all-wheel drive. Remember when all-wheel drive vehicles meant you got like 10 miles to the gallon? It's quite a difference. So
yeah.
So all coming up on Cruise Control when we come back. And endless reviews. Another one that came up and a little bit controversial, Crosstrek Wilderness. Back to the days of cladding. We'll talk about that.
Oh, boy.
Real
quick, Fred, on the Maverick.
Yes.
Orders opened, and after 1 week, they sold out, so you can't order one.
Wow. All right. Well, there you go. Hey, when we come back, Consumer Reports is going to be here. Stay tuned to Cruise Control. We'll be right back.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. I'm Fred Staab. He's Les Jackson. And this guy is Mike Quincy from Consumer Reports. We always enjoy having Mike on. He is a fellow broadcaster, podcaster, journalist, you name it, car and truck enthusiast. And we love talking to you. So welcome back to the show, Mike.
Thanks so much. And my wife allows me to stay in the house because I also empty the dishwasher.
Excellent.
I do that a lot myself. Yeah.
Same here.
But you always put together great studies. But now we have, let's start with vehicle top picks. First off, we always have to ask, how do you put this together? What criteria do you use?
So for a car or truck to make Consumer Reports top picks list, it has to do well in our testing. It has to have high marks for reliability and owner satisfaction, and it has to have lots of standard safety features. We require vehicles to have automatic emergency braking with pedestrian detection and forward collision warning as standard equipment on all the trim lines to qualify to be a top pick. And it's one thing to have a model that only the best safety features are on the top trim, but we think it should be on all the models top to bottom.
All right. Well, Les and I were just talking about the Prius Prime, which was revealed in New York, and we got more details on it. Pretty amazing vehicle, 44 miles of all-electric power plus 52 miles to the gallon. But here's one of the great things about the Consumer Reports top picks. Vehicles people might not think of. You have kind of an alternative to the Prius Prime. And it is that of the Toyota Corolla Hybrid, which is available for a lot less money, but comes close in many ways to the Prius Prime, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, 48 miles per gallon overall in Consumer Reports testing. Toyota's legendary reliability. I mean, really, no one has more experience building hybrid models than Toyota, and the Corolla Hybrid really builds on this. They take all the knowledge that they've done with the Prius for 20 something years, I guess it's going on now, and put it all together in a pretty stylish and functional package. And this is all for under $25,000. So when people think, well, do you have to spend a lot of money to get a great car? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I agree. I think I would buy one of those in a heartbeat if the interior were just a little bit more plush. I realize there's no reason for it to be other than just to please me, but I mean, it is incredible value.
Yeah, unless I totally agree with you. I would, if I was in the market for a Corolla, whether it's the regular one, the hatchback, or the hybrid, I would definitely want the higher trim just to get slightly better seats, heated seats, maybe a better audio system and whatnot, because the higher trims in Toyota products in particular make a difference. The lower end trims are functional, but just lots of hard plastics and nothing fancy at all.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And I would say overall, the interior in the Corolla it does punch above its weight. I mean, as you said, sometimes the materials in that, but it's a pretty nice design overall. It's not like a flat box for your dashboard.
And it's durable.
Yeah, it's durable.
And the people that my wife and I hang out in town, all of our kids were about the same age. And so right now they're all about college age kids, and the conversation always comes up. My kid needs a car. We can't afford a lot, and 9 times out of 10 the answer is a used Corolla.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, while we're on Toyotas, we might as well go with one that I think is going to be very big for them, and that is the Corolla Cross. Of course, at the New York Auto Show, they revealed the hybrid version of this, but there's a non-hybrid version as well, isn't there?
Yeah, again, under $25,000, 28 miles per gallon overall in Consumer Reports testing. All the goodness that you see in the normal Corolla with extra utility, fold-down rear seat, hatchback versatility, kind of like a small wagon. They actually did do a Corolla wagon back in the 90s, which was a very nice functional car. And I'm a huge fan of wagons overall. The car makers are afraid to put out wagons, to call it wagons. So you have to call it a crossover. You have to call it an SUV, whatever. It is a Corolla with lots of practicality.
You know, you bring that up, Mike. I just had the CX-50 Mazda, and I said this is much more station wagon-like. It's got the lower roof, but the higher belt line, but it's got, you know, the cladded wheel well arches. So I'm seeing a lot more lower roof lines on CUVs, and I almost think that makes me think wagon. You lower the top, it looks like it's longer. It looks like a station wagon.
Yeah, that's exactly what my colleagues and I thought when we were at the New York Auto Show, because Chevrolet showed their electric versions of the Blazer and the Equinox, and we thought they looked way more wagony and less SUV-ish.
Yeah, yeah. Yep. Chopping the top never hurts as a hot
that's true.
Yeah.
To change the attitude, you lower the altitude.
Yeah.
Well, what's the expression? Chopped and channeled, right?
Yeah, chopped and channeled and slammed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, you know, we're still not at a huge amount of money here in your best picks for Consumer Reports, but Subaru Forester is the next one in the lineup.
10 years in a row, the Forester is really on a winning streak. It's not hard to dislike the Forester. It's got a spacious cabin. It's got great visibility. It's one of the models that often comes up in discussions with your friends and saying, my parents are getting older. They need a car. What do you recommend? And the Forester often comes up because seeing that it's a little bit higher off the ground, like other SUVs, but it's not an enormous truck, so it's easy to get in and out of. Again, I mentioned the visibility. You get older, you lose flexibility. You can't see around as much. The Forester is one of those models that has very thin pillars, great glass area, tremendous visibility. I really like driving this car because it is so friendly and it's got easy to use controls, good reliability, 28 miles per gallon overall in Consumer Reports testing.
Yeah.
I'm finding a couple things about the Forester, and several people have mentioned this to me. It just seems a little bit too large if you're, just a couple people, not a whole big family. And the other thing is they tend to the ride quality is okay, but it's just a teeny bit choppy. Not harsh.
Mm-hmm.
And people have mentioned this to me, and I've noticed it riding around in a friend's Forester. So, great vehicle. I mean, no question.
Visibility.
But Les, I think your criticisms are well founded. I mean, I wouldn't call it rough riding. I wouldn't call it a deal breaker by any means. But it might. I think you're right. I think it might. It might be a little bouncier than some people are expecting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But definitely the visibility, because many designs now, they really go for that tight back window, and it's like looking out, driving a tank and looking out the little slot to see where you're going. So I think people appreciate that.
Yeah.
Now this next one, Mike, on your Consumer Reports list, it's interesting. They're going to not sell Camrys anymore in Japan. Did you read that?
I did. I thought that was crazy. I mean, it's listen, if you're a car maker, you got to make money. You've got to follow the market. The market is saying less sedans, which kind of breaks my heart because I'm constantly suffering from SUV overload working at the track and drive. I drive a different car all the time. So it's just SUVs everywhere. I love the Camry. I love the Camry because I like sedans. I like sitting actually lower to the ground. I like the handling. I like the braking. I like the easy controls, and the hybrid version, 47 miles per gallon overall in Consumer Reports testing, and you have a sedan that can fit 4 normal sized adults. I just think that's incredible. My wife and I and our boys rented a Camry a couple of years ago, and we drove down the Pacific Coast Highway. It wasn't a hybrid model, but it was this current generation, and I just reminded myself of what a nice car this is. And again, really good visibility, comfortable ride, decent handling. It isn't the boring vanilla car that a lot of people think it is.
That's right.
Yeah, Les, I think we always talk about that. That was when Toyota kind of turned the corner with styling. They went away from the beige, silver interior plastic and tried to make it. Because I had one, I pulled up and people said, "What's that?" And I said, "It's a Camry."
Well, and Toyota was stung, I think, certainly by Consumer Reports criticism that they were just so boring to drive, lifeless steering and just kind of blah handling. And listen, there's a lot of people at Toyota that love race cars. I mean, have you been in the Corolla GR yet?
I have not.
Oh,
Not yet.
it's insane. It's so good. It's so fast. It has incredible handling. I mean, Toyota knows how to have fun. You look at the Supra also. I mean, they had a lot of help with BMW there, but Toyota knows how to build cool, well dialed in cars. So
Yeah, like the LFA.
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely. Well, we're going to have to dial into a break here for a second. We will be right back with Mike Quincy from Consumer Reports on their picks. We're working our way through the list. Great info if you're going out to look for a vehicle. Maybe it's making you think about something different that you didn't think about. So that's what we're about here at Cruise Control. Stay tuned.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Fred Staab and Les Jackson here, and we are joined by Mike Quincy from Consumer Reports. We're running down their best picks here, and Mike, we've got plenty more to go here. We left off with the Toyota Camry Hybrid, but now we're going to move on to kind of unobtainium.
You're right.
The Ford Maverick, specifically a hybrid version. We've got a couple of different versions up here on some of the shots. But, how smart was Ford to build a less expensive vehicle? They did all kinds of things, like the spare tire is designed as part of the safety system where it will be punctured by on purpose if you're rear-ended. They built a vehicle that's less expensive. They reinvigorated the small pickup truck market, kind of convinced people that never thought about buying a pickup to buy one, and now they can't build enough of them. I guess that's the only flaw in the plan.
It's a nice problem to have if you're an automaker, I'm sure. I love the Ford Maverick. We tested both a regular version and a hybrid version. The hybrid cranked out, get this, 37 miles per gallon
That's
overall.
crazy.
I mean, it just blows the lid off of all the small trucks out there. I've been saying for years, not everyone needs a full-size truck. Not everybody needs an F-150, a Ram 1500, a Silverado, a Tundra. Small trucks are among the most useful vehicles if you're a homeowner, because you're probably not pulling a huge trailer every weekend unless you're like into horses or something like that. But the cool thing about the Maverick, outside of the fuel economy that we measured, is that it's just a really simple, easy to live with cabin, good controls, a decent ride, pretty good handling for a truck. One caveat is the hybrid is only available with a front wheel drive.
Yeah.
But still that would not deter me for a second from not considering this. I love pickup trucks, and the Maverick hybrid is really one of the best ones out there.
I really think we're going to
see
an all-wheel drive version of the hybrid. I think we will. I think that's
probably Maverick. And listen, Hyundai came out with their Santa Cruz small truck too. So I really hope this is a resurgence of small pickup trucks that we had in the 1970s.
Yeah, think about S10s. How many S10 pickups were around? Some of them, heck, I think are still around. All the different other models, that were out there. I just can't think of the Ford model right now, but one of those.
The Ranger,
and smaller than the Ranger before that.
Oh, the Ford Courier.
Courier, that's it.
Oh yes,
and
that name.
And the Chevrolet, the Chevy Love. Remember that
Chevy
one?
Love.
Remember that.
The Datsun Little Hustler,
and the Isuzu Pup.
Right. And the funny thing is, these small trucks that had American name brands on them were all built in Japan.
That's right.
Subaru Brat.
Yeah.
Don't tell anyone.
Don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Well, let's keep moving down the list. This next one's interesting to me for an electric car, kind of an entry-level electric car. You picked the Nissan Leaf, which I think is great, but my little problem with it is range is kind of low, right?
Well, yeah.
So let's talk about the Leaf, and then I will ask you why not the Bolt, which has better range, low price. I mean, I'll throw that out there to you.
Sure. Well, number one, the Leaf has a range of 149 to 212 miles, depending on the battery that you get. The main reason the Leaf is here and not the Bolt is because the Bolt has poor reliability according to Consumer Reports surveys.
Okay.
That is probably the one thing that keeps the Bolt off this list, because I agree with you. I like the Bolt better. I like the way the Bolt drives. The EUV, the kind of little SUV-ish thing, version of the Bolt is a really neat small car. But listen, hats off to Nissan. They started building the Leaf years and years ago. They've stuck with it. People talk about electric cars, and they all want to talk about Tesla, and I know we're going to get to that. But listen, the Nissan Leaf really flies under the radar. This is a really good, solid electric vehicle for people that don't have to drive a lot every day, and has earned its criteria as a Consumer Reports top pick.
Interesting. All right. Well, let's keep moving down the list because there's a lot to get to, Mike, and we're running out of time. But Hyundai Santa Fe hybrid, Hyundai and Kia, they've done some great things with hybrids. Why do you like that one?
The Santa Fe has an awesome design. The Santa Fe has always been one of those cars that looks and feels more expensive than it is. About 30 miles per gallon overall in Consumer Reports test. There's a plug-in version that also gives you about 31 miles of all-electric range. The controls are easy. The visibility is decent. The styling is nice. The ride is fantastic, much better than you think it would be. I really like this car. It's a family-friendly car, lots of room inside, and again, one of those things like Hyundai. Oh, really?
It's good looking vehicle, though.
It is a really nice car.
Yeah. Well, and we'll keep it in the family here. Kia Telluride, one of the biggest success stories recently in the automotive industry. For sale.
We talked about Ford and how they have this awful problem of having a vehicle so popular they can't keep them in stock. Kia has been riding the Telluride wave for a number of years going now. Has been in Consumer Reports top picks list for 3 or 4 years in a row, whatever. 21 miles per gallon overall. It's not a small vehicle. It's not as big as like a Tahoe or a Suburban or anything like that, but 3 rows of seating. Great controls, an awesome combination of ride and handling, especially for a vehicle that size. Love the Telluride. I've recommended it to dozens of people I know. The problem is it's really hard to find.
Yeah. Now, let's talk Lexus. I actually have one of these in my driveway now to check out, the Lexus NX 350h. And we're now into the 45 to 55 category, so we stepped it up a little bit on the money. What do you like about this? I mean, Lexus. You get the luxury and you get Toyota reliability, right?
Yeah, you're really stepping it up a notch with the NX. 38 miles per gallon overall in Consumer Reports testing. Again, we can talk from here until infinitum about Toyota reliability when it comes to hybrid systems. So they take all the goodness that they've learned about in the RAV4 hybrid and threw it into this. Really nice interior, good seats. Decent handling. The last version of the NX didn't have a great ride. This ride has gotten better. I like this car a lot just because you do get a little touch of luxury, a little coddling in the driving experience. And the only thing people got to get over, I think, is the front grille. That's off-putting for some people, right? But personally, that wouldn't deter me from buying this or driving it because it is really nice and is likely to be extremely reliable.
I would think Audi started the big grille, didn't they? Start it where it went from the edge of the hood all the way down to the bottom of the front fascia. I believe they were the first ones to start that. Of course, Lexus kind of accentuated it.
I think you're right, and we're just not going to talk about the early, Dodge Rams. Remember those with the huge grills?
The tractor trailer grill. Now we move to this camel. No, now we move to the Tesla Model 3. Why'd you?
I thought cigarette advertising was banned. Come on.
That's right, Joe Tesla.
What do you like about the Model 3, and has Tesla recovered from bad build quality? We always talk about it, but
well, Tesla as a company throughout all their product line, I don't think has, because a number of Teslas have done pretty poorly, actually, in Consumer Reports reliability surveys. The Model 3, however, has achieved an average rating in Consumer Reports reliability surveys, which qualifies it to be a top pick. We like the Model 3. It's super fast, like a lot of EVs. It really feels more like a sports car in its handling, and about up to 358 miles in the top model for cruising range. But the best part is its supercharger infrastructure system, which is second to none.
Mike, real quick, people want more on Consumer Reports info. Where would they go?
ConsumerReports.org. And we also have the April issue on the newsstand if you still like magazines.
All right. Thanks a lot. We'll see you down the road.
We got it.